I feel like I'm making so many uncomfortable videos, but here's another hard truth that you probably don't want to hear. And if you leave the video, I get it, because it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be something you're actually going to want to hear at all. But it's just that nobody's coming to fix your problems. Not your parents, your friends aren't, no miracle opportunity, no motivational video. It's just you. And it's really scary, because it's kind of like in a sense of you in a void, and it kind of is just the way that things work. And I guess it's the most liberating thing once you truly realize that. And responsibility is going to be really, really scary. It's kind of scary to think that, oh, you know what, my life is in my hands. I'm responsible for it all. If you're an adult, at least, again, there's going to be a certain criteria that you have to meet in order to actually get some useful stuff in this video. If you're young, there are some things you can do, but again, sometimes you are going to be restricted by your parents or school or whatever you're into. Doesn't mean that there's not a way out of it, at least on a mental scale. And to be honest, it's probably better to develop these habits earlier, because when you grow up, you're not going to be like in victim mode constantly, where you're going to be blaming external circumstances. You're going to be blaming your boss. You're going to be blaming other people. You're going to be blaming it on, I have bad luck, or that person was mean to me, therefore I'm going to do this and that. And simply put, that's a form of self-sabotage. You're letting other people control you. And those people aren't going to be solving your problems, but we allow them to add on to our problems. See how the logic doesn't really add up too well here? And then we kind of start to think in our own mind that because they're adding to our problems, maybe there's going to be another way that someone can solve our problems, or suddenly we're going to wake up on the other side of the bed and that's it. We start to fix ourselves up, but nothing changes. And then like days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, and then you start to fall into like a depressive cycle because you're stuck in the same place. You start to wonder why life isn't getting better at all. And that's what's really scary. Scarier than taking responsibility, in my opinion, because you start to realize that I am the problem, and if I am the problem, then I am also the solution. I am also able to control the way I feel. Kind of similar to Stoicism. I still think Stoicism, at least the general understanding of it, is a little bit overrated. I have a video on my channel explaining that somewhere if you want to find that, but it's still useful. Because you can't control what happened to you in the past. You can't control yesterday. You can't control other people's actions. You can't control the economy. You can't control the weather, if someone likes you or doesn't like you. But again, this is what you can control. Your responses to all of these situations. Not only your responses, but also the effort you get to put into it. Whichever choices you make, your daily habits, your mindset. And that, over time, can be enough to transform your life. And I'll give a very, very rough example. Say, for example, you get bullied or have some kind of harassment and you're playing into it. They're feeding off you feeling down. But if you start to kind of ignore them because they're always going to be like that, that's just a reflection of who they are. They probably don't like themselves, so they have to take it out on other people because it makes them feel superior. God knows why. It's absolutely stupid, but that's just the way it is. But then you can actually start to change your mindset. You can be like, you know what? I'm not gonna respond. And because they feed off that response, over time they might be less likely to do it. Obviously not in all cases, but if you pair that alongside with like going to the gym, exercising, changing your daily habits, maybe you're gooning a lot, I don't know, but I hope you get the point. Over time, you start to build a character, you start to build fortitude within yourself, in your mind. And once you have full confidence within that, nobody can touch you because you know you've got yourself. And that's when you truly break free from victim mentality, because you're not giving any power to anything else but yourself. Sure, life has its ups and downs, quite a lot of downs to be honest, but you're not relying on that to control your life. You start to become fluid. You start to work around those problems. You start to make moves around them. So instead of asking things like, man, I had such a rubbish day, who can I blame? Rather instead try to ask us, what can I learn? What has this day taught me about myself? Why am I reacting like this? And how can I respond better? If you've had a hard day at work, for example, and you feel like ordering some takeaway because, you had a hard day, that means that your hard day is responsible for you eating unhealthy. And you've given power, just like that. And look, again, I have to repeat this, but there's no issue with that. It's just that over time, if you start to repeat these habits, you're going to start to rely on that. You're never going to fix the problem. And if it comes on like a grander scale, what's going to end up happening? You're going to look for other ways of coping, other ways of blaming. But it doesn't have to be like that. Okay? So I believe in you wholeheartedly. I know you have more than enough courage and power to overcome your problems. You just need to realize it. It's not going to be easy. To be honest, I'd probably say just from looking around, at least 80% of people are going to be in this victim mentality, which is a lot of people. That's why they look towards people at the top, because they're the ones that took responsibility. And that could also be you. You have the power to truly start living instead of surviving. Thank you guys for watching. Peace and blessings be to you all.